Hi everyone, my name's Anne-Marie. Welcome to Card Making Project 634. Now in today's project we're going to make a gorgeous card using our Anna Griffin supplies. And don't forget to check the blog because all the photos of both inside and outside of the card will be on there. Plus also the list of everything that we use. Now I'm going to run through the items that we are going to use to make this card. And we're going to use one of the items in a slightly different way. And I think that just means that you get a lot of versatility from the dies and the stamps that you have. In this case we're going to use the die just a slightly differently, and I think you'll like this. So the first item that we're going to use is the Anna Griffin Fanciful Layers Cut and Emboss folders. So these are great because not only do they emboss but they cut as well. We're going to use the ruffled ribbon cut and emboss folder, and we're going to use it twice on the front to make a background, actually something a little bit different, and it really is versatile. This actually isn't the product that we're going to use in a different way, but there's quite a few different techniques in this tutorial, so I just hope you like it. So that's the first product that we're going to be using. The second product, and this is not in any order, is the reticulated border frame dies, and the circular one. We're going to use the actual shadow layer and the ornate layer, the larger of the set, and it's going to just make our card have extra layers. We're also going to use Paper Tricks 2, and we're going to use this for the inside. Sorry, not the inside. We're going to use this in a slightly different way. We're going to use one of the swallowtail dies. And what's happened is I've got some gorgeous sentiments from my favourite sentiment stickers from Anna. And they're not the right colour. They're just not quite right to go with this project. So what I've done, I've peeled the top of the sticker away. I've then used the swallowtail die on some damask cardstock and given the sticker a new background. So we've gone from this to this, so it'll tone in to everything else that I'm using. Next, we're going to be using, and this is the die we're going to use in a very different way, the border trim dies, and it's the one that's got the little bow on the top. Now we're going to use it without the bow. So what I've done, I've die cut it and I've just trimmed in the centre the bow from the actual die cut. So it's still the same, it's still got the embossing, and I've cut a piece of cardstock underneath just to cover the lattice in the middle to give it a different effect. But I've trimmed away the bow edge. And then for the inside of the card, we're going to use the same technique, cutting the bow away, and we're also going to cut it in half vertically so that we get to use it twice. So let's make the card. Now I'm starting with a blank 6x6 ivory card base, and I'm just going to take my bone folder from the Anna Griffin tool collection and just run it along the folded edge, because it just finishes the card off nicely and it makes it look nice and professional with a nice sharp crease. I've already used a handmade by stamp on the back. I've added my name and the tutorial number, so you can add any message that you want. The tutorial number is just to keep me in line so that I know which card is from which tutorial. So use your handmade by stamp so the recipient knows who's made it for them. So we're going to start with the inside, and the first thing I've done is I've taken a piece of the damask cardstock and I've cut it to 5.8 inches by 5.8 inches so that it sits nicely inside our card with just a little bit of border around the edge. I've got flat double-sided adhesive on the back. Now when I say flat double-sided adhesive, this could be a tape runner, this could be tape that you peel the back off like I use, you could use liquid glue, you could use whatever adhesive you're happy using, but I use flat double-sided adhesive tape, and it's just quicker for me when I'm filming as well. So I'm going to place the insert panel into the card through the centre of the card and press it down. I've then taken a piece of ivory cardstock and I've cut it to, I haven't wrote the measurements on there, but hey ho, it's 3 inches by 4 inches. It's going to sit just in the centre and leave a little bit of a gap. Don't be too strict with your measurements, you know, just cut what fits. You might have some offcuts or some scraps and they'd work perfectly. I've tinted the edge with a gold ink pad, and then I've just very delicately used a tiny little bit of gold embossing powder and heated it, just to give it a little bit of a different look. I've got flat tape on the back, and I'm just peeling the carrier sheet away, and I'm just going to position this just through the centre of the card. There we go, roughly about there. Press it down. I've then taken the border trim die. I've die cut it using Griffin metallic pale blue cardstock, and you can see I've just added the gold cardstock underneath it, and I've simply cut it in half. So on the back I've just got flat adhesive, and I'm going to peel the carrier sheet away, and I'm going to put flat edge to the bottom of my card, covering the edge of the damask and taking it to the corner edge of the card like so, and press it down. And then I'm going to do the same at the top as well. Now I'm just going to turn the card round so I can see it, and I'm simply going to butt it up to the fold of the card, just along that edge from side to side, roughly about there. There we go, and press it down. Obviously I've already trimmed mine to fit because the die is a little bit longer than the card using the 6x6, so you might just have to trim your edges. So that is kind of like the basis for the inside. But then I've taken one of the Thankfulness floral stickers and one of the sentiments from, it's just something I've got left over basically. And I thought, well, that's going to work perfectly because there's a lot of Anna's topper kits that come in with the little stickers for the sentiments. So use something that you've got left over. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the floral sticker, I'm just going to peel the back of it away. There we go. And I'm just going to position it in one corner of the card and press it down. And then I'm going to take the birthday sticker, peel the back away, and I'm just going to slot one of the ends, the swallowtail ends, just in between the layers for the flowers, and then just let it lay down like that and press it down so it's nice and stuck. And that's the inside of our card. How pretty is that? Something a little bit different. Then we're going to turn our attention to the front of the card. I'm just going to use my bone folder again. There we go. And for the base of the card, again, I've got a square of the damask cardstock from Griffin. We're going to peel off flat adhesive tape, and I'm just going to position this over the front of the card. There we go. So it's the same size as the inside, 5.8 inches by 5.8 inches. Our next layer is the 2 cut and emboss layers that we looked at from the beginning from the Fanciful Layers collection. So I've cut them and embossed them in gold shiny cardstock, and I've simply got flat double-sided tape on the back. So I'm peeling away the back of the tape, and I'm going to position one to the top of the card in the centre, And then the second one to the bottom of the card in the centre. There we go. So they just overlap in the middle slightly. So there we go. You can nearly see me. Hello. And look how gorgeous that looks already. Don't worry about the overlap. We've got something to cover that. So next we're going to take the reticulated circular shadow layer. I've got 3D foam on the back, and I'm just going to pop that over the centre of our previous layers and then press it down. Next, I've cut out the ornate layer from the reticulated die. Again, in the blue metallic cardstock. I've got 3D foam on the back, and I'm just going to pop that over our previous layer. There we go. So just press that down. Next, we've got the layer from the border trim, and this is where I've cut the bow away from the centre. I mean, you don't have to. You could keep the bow on. I've trimmed it off because I don't think we're going to see it from the embellishments that we're going to put on. But it's entirely up to you. If you've got any of the other border dies, they might work as well, so you can always substitute things. Have a look in your stash, see what you've got if you haven't got the same. I've got 3D foam on the back, and this is going to simply sit and hide the edges here. Mind you, it does look like a square already. So we're just going to add that through the centre of our reticulated die. There we go, press that down. Then I've taken two of the Thankful floral flowers. I've got 3D foam on the bottom because we're going to step down a layer, and I've left that bit as a sticker. So we're going to put one roughly about there, and then the second one, again, there's 3D foam at the top of the sticker but not at the bottom, because the bottom is going to sit just at that side like so. There we go, kind of covering the centre. I'm then going to take the sentiments that I've used for the changing the background, and where I've used the Paper Tricks 2 die. So I've used the damask cardstock, and I've got one that says Dear Friend, so I'm just going to slide that to the top section like so. Press it down. The next one says Happy Birthday, and we're just going to pop that one kind of about there, I would say. And I think I have a little bit of tape on there that I've not removed. There we go. And pop that in the centre. And then the third one is going to go, I would say, about there. So they're kind of symmetrical. So they say, Dear Friend, Happy Birthday, sending my love. And then I'm just going to finish off the card with a little gold bow, and I'm going to put that on its side, just at the side of the flowers. And that is our card finished. Something a little bit different to use your dies with. The inside matches perfectly. See how pretty that is, just for an inside. We've got lots of layers. I think it would still go in a normal envelope. And it's just such a pretty colourway. It really is. I haven't mentioned that. But the blue and the gold, just so gorgeous. Please check my blog. Don't forget to share with your crafty friends. And I do love hearing from you. So I would just like to say thank you so much for watching. And I shall see you next time.